Hello, welcome to this edition of the Honey-Do List channel. Today we're going to be frying turkeys. It's Thanksgiving Day. We're going to be frying two 12-pound turkeys. What we're going to do is show you some of the ways to do it and the way that we do it. First of all, you will have to have some kind of turkey fryer and some of the stuff to do it. We're going to show you the safest way to do it and some of the tricks to make sure that you do really well when you do it. Okay. So I've got the turkey here in the sink. Like I said, I made sure it was 100% defrosted. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the bag open, and I'm going to show you a few little steps. If I can get a metal turkey pan over there, we'll show you the next step, what you want to do. You're going to get it from the bag and drain it. Throw the bag away. You notice I'm holding it by a plastic piece right here. You don't actually want that plastic piece on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it down and I'm going to try to figure out how to get that off, which usually it just wedges in there and it comes off like that. You want to make sure that comes off. You want to reach inside, and usually they put like the neck bone and the giblets or whatever they're called out of it. You want to make sure those are all out of it. And then another thing is they put a pop-up timer for baking. You want to make sure you pull that out, which just pops right on out. And then what I like to do is after I get the little bag out, I want to rinse this off with cool water just to get any, blood or anything like that out of it. And then I'm going to show you a little trick here once I get it up in the pan. Let me wash my hands real quick. You want to make sure that your hands stay clean the whole time you're doing this, because turkey is a poultry and you can get salmonella from it. So you want to hand cleanliness with warm water. Soap is a good thing. All right, let me grab me a towel. Okay, so one of the tricks I wanted to show you was before you put it on the, in the fryer. Just going to tilt this down. See how the wing is right here? One of the little tricks is if you take the wing and fold it backwards like that, then it holds it to the bird, so when you put it in, it doesn't hang up. Some people take twine and tie this part down. What I do is I try to run my little stand, a turkey frying stand. See, they kind of look like, let me stand this up, kind of look like this. Have a hook on the end. What you want to do is run that through the body of the turkey, through the cavity of the turkey. And then what I try to do is, when I stand it up,
I look at it.
Yep. I try to stand it up where it comes into the back part of it like this. Now, there is a little piece of skin right here. Some people like that. I just take it off. But now that turkey is ready to go to the turkey fryer, but there is a few more steps. We're going to make this turkey really good, and we're going to show you those steps. Okay, we've got the turkey in the pan, and this is what we're going to use. We're going to use this Tony Chachere's Cajun butter injection. It comes with the injector, and this is about $3. Alright, and what we're going to do is, after I wash the turkey to get all the extra, make it a little bit more sanitized, we towel dried it with paper towels just to kind of get some of the extra moisture out. What you're going to do is you're going to fill this up, and what you're going to try to do is find the thickest part of the meat, and you want to inject. You'll see it start to grow. I use a little bit more than most people, and what I try to do is increase the bird by, when you see the meat increase in size, you'll see how it's starting to grow everywhere. And then what I'll do is I keep doing that. So you want to just make sure you get it as close to the bone as possible.
What are we doing with it?
We're injecting it, buddy.
What are we
because we're injecting it to make it even better. And like I said, you want to make sure you get down to the meat, you know, closest to the bone as possible, and you want to try to increase the size. I mean, you'll see what you try not to do is get it directly right underneath the edge of the skin, because what happens is when it fries, if that skin splits, then this Cajun butter injection will actually get into your oil and brown your oil up, and when that happens, it can also agitate the grease. And oop,
why did that?
Because I got a lot of injector in there, and it'll agitate your grease, and when it does that, then it can cause the grease to flame over, and if your grease flames over, then you have an issue with you could have a problem with, you know, the grease agitation going over and causing it to catch fire. And that's if I'm not mistaken, I seen something yesterday that says 6,000 houses will be affected by house fires due to frying turkeys this year.
Oh.
That's every year, and that's a national study. I think I seen it on the news last night. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this all the way around the bird a couple of times. Like, you know, we just did the outside of the drumsticks. Now we're going to do the inside, and we're going to just do this.
He got it.
No, it's okay, baby. I'm right here.
And we're going to do this, and we're going to go around. I'm probably going to use 2 of these jars per turkey is what my normal is. So while I'm injecting this, we're going to take a little short break, and then we'll show you the next step. Okay, we've used both of the injectors. We've got everywhere that you can put a spot of injection in there. The next step is that we like to do, because we like the Cajun fried turkey. So we'll put a little bit of Tony Sachet Creole seasoning on it. And what I normally do is I try to lightly dust the bird. You don't need much. What you want to do is get like a light coating like this to cover the complete bird. And you know, if it falls off in the bottom, I mean, it's not an expensive thing to do, and you're only going to do it once a year. So I mean, if you waste a little, it's still good. But what you want to do is you just want to keep moving the bird around and get, like I like to try to get between the legs and the thighs, and you know, and all the little creases. One thing I won't try to do is pour any down the center of the bird, because if it doesn't stick to the bird, it actually ends up being down in your oil, and you know, it'll also make your oil change colors, make the bird look darker. But you know, so what you want to do is just, like I said, lightly dust everything. Alright, so now that I've got everything, you know, pretty much covered, you see I'm trying to get all around the edges where you normally wouldn't get. Alright, you can see that I have quite a bit down in the bottom of the pan. You see all of it that went down the bottom of the pan. Don't worry about that. Like I said, now this bird is actually ready to fry. So our next step is I'm going to go outside, I'm going to set the turkey fryer up, I'm going to pour the oil in there. One thing I did want to mention, let me grab this. One thing I did want to mention is a trick to putting it in the pot. You can actually take your bird while it's still in the bag, fill your pot up with water, and then set your turkey in there until the water level, you know, barely covers the top of the bird. And then what you do is you pull your bird out, and then wherever that water level is, you mark it. You know, you make a video, you know, a reference of where that's at, and that's how much oil you would put in there. Note though, you need to dry the pot out. Have no water in there when you put the oil in there, because it will cause it to, you know, agitate the oil and cause the oil to come out the top of the pot. Alright, so that's another little trick that I have for you. And one of the things that I'm going to use, a lot of you people use peanut oil. I find that the peanut oil actually will Oops, sorry about the sun blind there. The peanut oil actually darkens a lot quicker than some other oils. The flash point for peanut oil is I think 375. I use a clear frying oil. I get it at Sam's Club. Peanut oil runs about $40 for 3 gallons, where clear frying oil runs about $18 for 3 gallons. So right there, you're already saving 50% on there. And the smoke point is what they call it on clear frying oil is 425 degrees. So you're actually able to heat it up a little bit more, you know, and not have to worry about it. All right, well, let's go on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to lower the turkey into the grease. We've already actually cooked one, but we lost the footage of us dropping it in there. This grease is about 335, 340 degrees. So we're going to show you the proper technique in putting it in. What you want to do is when you get it here, you just don't want to drop it straight in, because if you do, it'll agitate the grease. So what you want to do is lower it very slowly into it. And you see the grease getting very agitated as I'm lowering it. But the slower you go at this point is the best, because if the grease gets too agitated, it'll come over the side and catch it on fire. And that's what you're trying to prevent. What you want to do is get it all the way down in there like that, unhook it, and go ahead and cover it so the grease that is popping won't come out. All right, and then you cook that until the meat closest to the bone is 165 degrees. All right, well, we didn't film them coming out of the grease because, you know, we were in a hurry to try to get them out. This one was so moist that it actually fell apart. You can see where the legs literally fell off of it. This one, we cut down the center just to make sure that the temperature was right. It was a little low, and that's why you have a little bit of darkness right here. But all in all, this turkey is cooked perfectly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to slice this one. It's hot because it's just to show. Look at the juice in there. Look at that juice in there. So what that does is that creates a cavity of that seasoning, and as you cut it, it will actually get on the meat. We're going to pull back a little bit of the skin. You can see where there's a lot of moisture still trapped underneath the skin right here. So that's a good, well-cooked turkey. It should cut real easily. The skin should be nice and crisp. And the meat should be pulled back off the bones, as you can see. Don't worry about the darkening. It looks like it's charred right here. That's actually because of the Tony Chachere's that we put on the outside will actually darken. You can see where it had some clumps of Tony Chachere's right here. But all in all, the skin is nice and golden color, and it's moist through and through. If you want to take a look right here, I'm going to pull this back right here. I'm going to cut into it a little bit. You can see the moisture just pouring out of that meat right there. All right, well, hope y'all learned something on this video. Remember to take your time and do it right the first time. Until next time, let's work on that honey-do list together, and happy Thanksgiving.